Welcome back to Mass Appeal Baklava. It's a sweet pastry. It's made of layers of phyllo dough, and it's chopped and filled with nuts and honey.
Oh my goodness, and here to show us how to make this delicious Greek dessert is ELENI NIKOLIS from the Greek Orthodox Church of St. Luke in East Longmeadow, along with John It's great to have you both here. Now, doing this is really a piece of cake, but should we say a piece of baklava, John, right? All right, so the first step, ELENI, in making baklava, what is the first thing you need to do?
We make the syrup.
Okay, we make the syrup. So I'm going to
syrup.
have you come over here then. I'll switch with you. What goes into the syrup?
We make 4 cups of sugar, 3 cups of water, 1 stick of cinnamon, a half a lemon, there one and orange peels for flavor,
Okay.
some cloves, and we boil it for about 20 minutes, and then we add the honey, and we boil it for another 15 minutes.
And I can imagine the aroma in your kitchen when you boil that.
And it's good to have cold syrup over hot baklava. So I usually make it earlier and have it cold.
Okay, all right, so you're just getting the syrup started over here.
Yes.
And it seems like it's kind of like the glue that holds everything together, too, in the recipe.
Yes,
it is. Yes, it
and then
is.
we have melted butter.
All right, it's already melted.
Yeah. Chopped walnuts, and we put half teaspoon of cinnamon, cloves, and a 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg. And we mix it again for flavor.
Oh,
And this
so
all
much
goes in this
flavor.
big mix. Ooh.
Yes.
And then what do you have here?
6 layers of phyllo.
And this is the phyllo.
Yes, we put we butter the pan, and we put the 1 layer of phyllo, then we butter it again, and as we go along, we put butter in between. And then after the 6, we'll separate the walnuts.
No wonder why it tastes so good.
Yeah.
Butter and honey and nutmeg. All right, so this, should we put the nuts
Yes. You
on
wanna
now?
do that?
Sure.
Put me to work.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
I'd be happy to do that.
Just let me just show you.
Okay.
You know, so we're not gonna have.
I don't want to mess it up.
No. You
Can't
can't
mess
mess
it
it
up.
up.
Oh,
Just
really?
like that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Too
That makes
soon.
it. Yeah, that makes it easy for us because we
right,
probably will.
Then I'll put this, layer
all
this.
over, yeah.
Sure, there
Make
you
sure
go.
they add the too.
Okay, and we'll have Seth layer the next
Oh, I
layer
don't know
of
about
phyllo.
that.
All right, now, here we go. Now, John, tell us about the Greek festival that's coming up in about a month or so.
Okay, the dates of the festival are the 18th, 19th, and 20th of October.
That's fine.
It runs from 11 to 9 on Friday and Saturday, and 11 to 4 on Sunday. And all of the foods that we serve are prepared by our parishioners, and from all reviews, it's pretty good.
I can imagine all that good food.
When you got all this honey and butter going, how can you miss?
And all the information is on your website.
On our website, yes, it is.
We don't put like tons of butter, just to
No,
Well,
just enough to make it
okay.
perfect.
All right, Seth, you're going to come over and do the rest.
Oh, I have to do something?
She said you can't mess it up, so.
That's a very good point. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Now here's my question, because what I might just do is break this dough by mistake. Does it matter that much though, because there's so many layers?
You just try to put it together.
Okay.
Right.
And sometimes you get the dough and it's like dry, and you get mad, but then you start to make it. But you just make sure there's a layer.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And if you have dry dough, is there anything you can do? Can you put a little moisture on it?
Yes, you can. If this is good though. If it's really dry, you wet a towel, but really, really squeeze the water out. It's
You
just
don't want it to be
damp.
dripping.
Just
And
dab
keep it in between, Now, if you're fast, you don't need to do that. But if you're not fast, like
That's me.
ELENI, how many times would you say you've made baklava?
oh my gosh, I can't count.
Really? You
I've
can't
been
count?
making it since I was like 18 years old.
So
So
about
you're a
10
baklava
years.
making expert.
10 years.
About
since
10 years,
I-
And John, do you love to eat baklava?
Oh,
What a good
absolutely.
pair you are.
Oh, yes.
Well, we're going to keep on this. We're going to finish it up a little bit later in the show.
Okay.
Welcome back to Mass Appeal.
Yes, good to have you back. We're in
got
the
you by
Mass Appeal
surprise, didn't
kitchen.
it? Every
We're
once
with
in a while, we
ELENI
like to
and John.
surprise us.
We're making baklava, and you're from the St. Luke Greek Orthodox Church in East Longmeadow. Now, we are continuing the layering process with the phyllo and the walnuts. Now, obviously, for the sake of TV, we'll fast forward a little bit. So let's say this is all done, the phyllo and the nuts, you continue to layer, and then magic of television, we bring the finished one out of the oven.
Look at that.
Oh, yes.
Now,
all right.
two questions. First of all, how long did we put it in the oven for, and at what temperature?
half hour for 350, and you cook it for half hour.
Half hour.
And then you lower down to 335 and put another half hour to make it crispy.
And then I'm noticing right now it's cut very nicely. Do you do that before or after you put it in the oven?
No, you cut it before you put it in the oven.
Okay.
So that way the syrup can,
Get in there. Yes.
And it's
Okay.
easier to cut afterwards because if you cut phyllo afterwards, it breaks.
Oh, it's like a croissant, almost.
Yes, very much so.
Flaky. So you want to cut it before. Now, where does the syrup come in?
Okay, when you finish the layers and everything, when you take it, when you take it out of the oven, and you have the cold syrup, you just pour all around and inside the cuts, and then you put the whole thing in, and I will leave it overnight.
And it's soaked,
It soaks.
absorbed.
And then
Oh,
the
okay, so the longer the better.
You'll see syrup in the edge, but that's fine because it will disappear the next day.
Oh, but you don't, it's better, you'd say, to pour cold syrup on hot baklava instead of pouring hot syrup on cold
It
baklava.
could be either.
You could
but
do both.
I prefer the cold syrup over hot baklava.
I'll take your word for it, 'cause you've been doing it for a while, so.
So this is ready
Thank
to
you.
eat?
For 10 years, remember?
Exactly.
10 years.
'Cause
10
you're
years.
celebrating your 20th birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Eleni. Yes, I know. I'm very
Thank you
impressed
very
with your
much.
baklava making. All right, so now we're going to put it on a plate so we can see how pretty this is. And now, basically, I see that you're cutting it on an angle, too. This is a very...
Well, it's fancier.
Oh, it's... Well,
Yeah.
we want to make it fancy.
Yeah,
We're going
we're
to do
a
it. We want to
classy
do it right.
establishment.
Might as well. Yeah.
Like
And
you
once
said,
again,
it's a
You can cut
piece
it.
of baklava.
You can cut it. We cut it triangles at the church,
Oh,
but
that's
it's
good
a
too.
big pan and it's much easier.
Oh, when you're doing I bet for the taste of Greece, the sheet pans are this big.
They're much bigger,
Not,
yes.
yeah, much
not,
bigger
not
than
quite
this.
that big.
No,
but-
twice as big as this.
Wow, that's a
And
lot
we
of
make
baklava.
30 to 32 trays.
Oh, my gosh. A triangle, trapezoid, I don't care how it's shaped. It's going to taste good, right?
So,
But it's also not just baklava that we have. We have some incredible desserts here. Tell us what
Right.
we have going on this plate.
Okay, so here we have the baklava. Okay, here we have our crescents, baksimadia, finikia, gulurakia, and guruambiedes. These are also known as chokers. Because if you bite into it and breathe at the same time, you choke.
Oh, that's good.
It's good
But
to know.
they taste good. It's worth it, right?
Oh,
All right, and
very.
all the recipes, well, some of the recipes for those cookies will be on our website.
Yes.
And we'll be having you back before the festival to make another delicious Greek meal, right?
Yes, you will.
Greek recipe. Well,
cannot
great
wait
to
to
have you
try
ladies. You, lady, Eleni here, and John, you as well. Nice to have you here. I always get distracted when we're making food.
When this happened yesterday too?
Yes.
When there's mouth-watering food, Ashley's mouth literally waters. Hey, by the way, if you want to copy
can't
this
talk.
recipe, just visit us online, mymassappeal.com.